Theatrical exhibition in Australia have been forced to evolve and change with the times, primarily due to the changing ideas surrounding the expectations of cinemagoers and the emergence of streaming services. Additionally, it has been shown that COVID has drastically affected people's desire and willingness to attend their local cinemas in person due to a shift in priorities and reason why people want to go to the cinema. Have you ever given much thought when someone tells you, "Hey, I just saw a really good film"? Does your mind immediately conjure up visions of the cinema? Or maybe a DVD player? Widescreen TV? Because back in the early days, cinema theaters were luxurious. This meant that being in the theaters was an experience of the film image itself and the experience of architecture of the grand theatrical space. However, the cinema experience has revolutionized itself to a minimalist quality. The most popular theatrical exhibition in the 21st century embodies the concept of efficiency and quality of the multiplex theater with its aim to give the audience quality screen and sound entertainment with no distractions. In 2020, with the rise of COVID cases, pandemic regulations were gradually enacted, and the first measure was to ban any large gatherings. The Australian box office made more than $400 million in 2020, a dramatic revenue drop of more than 67%. Theaters had to adapt and find a way to stay in business, and this in turn gave outdoor cinemas a raging comeback. The once beloved drive-in theater allows audiences to enjoy a film safely in the comfort of their car while also social distancing. As the cases of COVID-19 rose with millions in lockdown, cinemagoers were forced to stay home for video entertainment.
The number of streaming subscriptions in the US grew by 50% in 2020 and increased up to 1.1 billion individual subscriptions across the globe. This was caused by the lockdown rules imposed across the world that kept people out of cinemas and in their homes. During the 2021 Lunar New Year in China, a time when the virus was under control in the country and the populace could attend the cinema, there was a record box office. This suggests that a similar comeback could be on the horizon in the rest of the world. Although, in a recent survey of 20,398 US adults by What If Media Group, 20% said they had no intention of ever returning to cinemas, and another 10% said they were unlikely to. Another survey by Forbes got similar results, with 39% of the respondents saying they had no intention of returning to cinemas. There has been some sign of this, with Spider-Man No Way Home earning $1 billion in its first 2 weeks alone. Despite this, Guillermo del Toro's Nightmare Alley, Disney's The King's Man, Lana Wachowski's The Matrix Resurrections, and Steven Spielberg's West Side Story all bombed, with West Side Story only making $37 million off a $100 million budget. Ariana Bocco, president of IFC Films, commented, "One thing we have found is older art house audiences haven't come back to theatres in the same numbers. Instead, they have discovered the ability to watch things at home, and they're enjoying that freedom." The total revenues for 2021 were between $4.5 to $5 billion, making Spider-Man a significant percentage for a single film. This is paired with smaller films focusing on interpersonal drama such as Aaron Sorkin's Being the Ricardos, writer-director Sean Hedder's family film Coda, and Maggie Gyllenhaal's directorial debut The Lost Daughter, all having migrated to streaming platforms for their release. This could signify a future in which cinemas become the almost exclusive domain of the big-budget action blockbuster. Though this raises some concerns. Cinema owner Marco Mira commented, "I don't like having the world live and die by one movie." There is some validity to this. When it was announced that the 25th James Bond film, No Time to Die, would be delayed, it led to certain British cinemas declaring bankruptcy.
As a result of both COVID and the emergence of streaming technology, this has caused a shift in the priorities of cinema goers and the things that encourage them to attend cinemas. As such, the introduction of technologies like Dolby Atmos and high-resolution images are vital to keeping ticket sales high during a time of great uncertainty and fluctuation for exhibition outlets. However, it's not just about competing with streaming services in modern times. With the introduction of the widescreen format in the 1950s, cinemas were quick to upgrade their theatres to compete with the market for at-home television sets, often blaming TV for the steep decline of ticket sales in the late 1940s. But studies also show, although television was often blamed for Hollywood's steep decline of this period, it played no role in it at all. Into the future, it is clear that sound systems and further innovation in the cinema experience are going to be important to keeping audiences interested in attending their local theatre. TV systems are becoming bigger, better and cheaper for consumers. However, sound systems may provide a gap in the market for cinemas to fill. Sound systems vary greatly on mounting capabilities within the space, the material the room is made of, and the budget of the consumer. For example, it's been shown how important sub-bass frequencies are for people to be able to place the locations of sounds in VR and in Dolby Atmos. However, these sounds will resonate differently based on the room they're placed in. Dolby Atmos can also handle up to 64 individual outputs, which is clearly not viable on a consumer level at this stage. Audio engineers are able to take all of this into account in their cinema fit-outs, giving audiences the best experience possible. Therefore, it's clear that technology, and specifically sound technology, will remain an important point of difference for cinemas to keep a competitive edge. However, going into the future, it's vital for cinemas to continue to find gaps in the market as great technology becomes cheaper and more accessible for consumers. Overall, you can see how a theatrical exhibition in Australia has been forced to evolve and change over time due to a variety of reasons. COVID, changing audience expectations, and the emergence of better technology are all pushing cinema to be better and bringing new experiences to cinema screen content.